Alright lads, welcome back to another one. As you can see, we've got the ham cam up top left, but it's not going to be very useful in this kind of a video because we're going in depth into the M4A1 versus the CR-56 Amax and what gun overall is better. We're going to be bringing out loads of numbers, so hopefully you can keep up. I'm going to put up some screenshots from codgungamedata.com. We're going to be coming with all types of information, so you're going to be fully aware of what's going on. And let's get straight into it, starting off with the M4A1. It has a fire rate of 808.5 rounds per minute. It has an aim down sight speed of 238 milliseconds. It has a movement of 4.7 meters per second. So when you have the gun out with no attachments, you can move 4.7 meters in 1 second. The reload speed is 2.23 seconds. The tac sprint to fire is 392 milliseconds. The hipfire area is 16.5 pixels squared. ADS movement is 2.37 meters per second, so it's about half of what your normal movement would be. So if you have the gun at hipfire, you can move 4.7 meters in 1 second, but if you're ADS, you can move 2.37 meters per second. It's hard to explain, but it's literally just basically half of it. The bullet velocity is 720 meters per second. So that's how fast a bullet will travel. In 1 second, it will go 720 meters. It has a mag size of 30, has a sprint to fire of 263 milliseconds, and an open bolt delay of 0 milliseconds. The last thing isn't really important, it's only for a sniper rifle. But now, these guns are very similar, but also very unalike. I've already run the numbers to find out which gun is the best, and I'm just trying to present it to you as easy as possible. So you've seen the M4A1 screenshot, you heard me break it down, and you could hopefully follow me through where I was talking and reading from off that screenshot. And now I'm going to come with the CR-56 Amax, and then after that I'm going to break down the differences between every stat for each gun. Very easily for you to follow, trust me, it will be. If you're confused now, all I got to say is hold on there for a few more minutes and just listen. The CR-56 Amax has a fire rate of 630 RPM, which is 200 thereabouts slower than the M4A1, so it shoots a lot slower, which means it's going to have a lot less recoil, hopefully, if not there's something wrong. Aim down sight speed is 279 milliseconds. The movement is just a bit off 4.7. The reload speed is 2.25. The tactical sprint to fire is 392 milliseconds. The hipfire area is 16.5 pixels squared. That's the same as, I'm pretty sure every assault rifle has the same hipfire by default, the same hipfire box by default. So that's a good thing. ADS movement is 2.34 meters per second, which again is about half of the original. The bullet velocity is 587 meters per second, which is not as good as the M4A1, but it does make up for that in the damage. So hopefully we can even the sides here. Right now it's the M4A1 that's winning, and I'll show you what I mean now. The mag size is 30. Let me just finish with the Amax first. The mag size is 30. The sprint to fire is 263 milliseconds, and the open bolt delay is 0 milliseconds. Now, I've done this before in the kilo vid, so if you've seen that, or if not, it was the kilo versus the Grau, which was a big debate. What I did was again ran through all of those headings, like so fire rate, aim down sight speed. I ran through all them, but instead of giving a number, I give the gun that has the better, basically the better stats for that heading, if it makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go again. You have fire rate. The M4A1 has a faster fire rate. Under ADS speed, the M4A1 aim down sight's faster. The movement speed, the M4A1 can move faster, only by a little bit, but it can still move faster. The reload speed goes to M4A1. Now, the tactical sprint to fire is equal for both of them. The hipfire area is equal for both of them. And then the aim down sight comes back to the aim down sight movement, comes back to the M4A1. The bullet velocity comes back to the M4A1. The sprint to fire is equal, and the open bolt delay is equal. So now you can see that whole list that I just ran through. And what happens if I move everything that we're equal to and show you where the M4A1 is dominating, and then I'll show you other things where the Amax is dominating under those categories. And what you'll quickly notice is the M4A1 is winning in everything. So basically how to word this would be, the Amax, as of all those stats I just read out, has nothing better than the M4A1. But where the Amax can come in is its lower fire rate and higher recoil. Therefore, given the gun, you have to hit less shots, which means it should kill faster. But how easy are them shots to hit, if that makes sense? I'm going to come with some damage stats right now, and we're going to go even more in depth. So you can see that it's not looking good for the Amax right now, so hopefully we can fling it back around. So what we're going to do right now is pull up 2 screenshots. The one on the left is going to be the close range M4, and then the one on the right is going to be the close range Amax. Now, the close range for these guns are pretty similar. On the left with the M4A1, it's going to be 0 to 30 meters, it's going to be its close range radius, and with the Amax it's 0 to 24 meters. So pretty close. It's reliable information as well, so it's probably pretty accurate. With the M4A1, a headshot is 48, a chest shot is 28, a stomach is 28, and extremities is 28, which basically means everywhere is 28 except if you hit in the head, it's 48, almost double. And when it comes to the Amax, you hit a headshot, it's 56, you hit it in the chest, it's 42, and a stomach and extremities is 35. So if you're an accurate player and you tend to hit more of the chest than head, the Amax is going to pay off way better because it's doing more damage for those areas. You get a bigger hit point for hitting the chest and the head. Whereas if you hit somebody in the leg or in the arm, it's going to do the same damage as if you were to hit someone in the chest. That's with the M4A1. So the Amax is coming in clutch there with it doing more damage. But you have to remember, it fires 200 less shots in a minute. So, again, it's probably still about on even tides, I would say, between these two guns, if I'm being honest. They are very tight competitors. You could say the Amax is shit, but you could also say the M4 is shit. You could say the M4 is great, and you can say the CR-56 Amax is great. It's so like, it just depends of your playstyle. So I'm gonna come with long range now. So that's for close range players. I would probably side with the M4A1 if you were going closer range. Out of the two guns, obviously. I'm not talking about any other guns here. I'm just saying if you had to choose between the M4A1 and the Amax, you got to choose the M4A1 for close range because it's shooting faster. Close range, I would say you'd probably be less accurate. Like real close range, you're going to be less accurate than if you were medium range. I know that might seem a bit different, but you know yourself, if somebody comes around the corner with good movement and jumps through the air, they're harder to hit than somebody who, again, is at close range or medium range, because if they're medium range, they're more than likely running in the open and they're easy to hit anyway. So real close range, I would use the M4A1 because you're shooting more shots, therefore you're hitting him more times, which means the screen is shaking a bit more because every time you get hit you shake, and it's going to put a bit of panic in him. So I would go with the M4A1 if you're going close range, and also all the other benefits before, the aim down sight speed, the movement speed, bullet velocity, everywhere it wins. But then, when you look at, that's still close range, but when you come into long range here, it has a long range for the M4A1 of 50 plus meters. It does 27 headshot damage, and then 18 to every other part of the body. Where the Amax, its long range is 47 plus meters, and headshot is still doing a whopping 38, which is better than a body shot up close with the M4A1. If it's not, yeah, it's better. That's what I said. Okay, headshot does more than a body shot if you're using the M4A1 up close, which is pretty good. The Amax also does 28 to the chest, 24 to the stomach, and 24 to the extremities. And that right there speaks for itself. It's doing, 10 to the chest? It's doing 10 more damage than the M4A1 at long range. And plus, it's shooting slower. And you might say that's a bad thing, but if it's shooting slower, that means it's going to have less recoil. So you're not wasting time trying to fight recoil. So the shots are easier to hit at longer range. That's a pretty good conclusion, man. They're both good guns, but it depends what you need them for. And I would say if you're going for a closer range playstyle, maybe using the M4A1 to back up a sniper in close range isn't a bad idea. But let's say you're just going more of an aggressive, but you still want to carry an SMG. Maybe the Amax You know, I'm just saying, maybe kind of a mid-range player, use the Amax mid-range. Like you can see me use the M4 right there. And then maybe a shotgun with the Amax. You can still do that, man. Or still just use a normal SMG. It can be still played like that. So the conclusion is pretty unclear, I guess. But it depends how you play. That's why I've pointed out the two ways you can use the guns to dominate with them. Play to their strengths instead of their weaknesses. Now, obviously, in my opinion, I wouldn't call these two guns meta at the moment. The Amax, maybe. But I don't know about the M4A1. It's still kind of having a bit of a comeback zone right now. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay? I want to thank you all for watching and spending what is about 11 minutes of your time watching this. And hopefully I was able to help you just find out a bit more information or maybe solve a problem. And if I did, I would greatly appreciate it if you click that sub button. You don't even have to click the sub button. In the bottom right corner of the video there should be a wolf logo. If you tap that, a pop-up will come up saying subscribe. Then just click it and you're in, boys. You're with the family. You're not going to miss another great video. We're going to come with it when more Warzone comes out on Cold War. We're going to come with it when multiplayer comes out on Cold War. We're going to transition into Cold War and we're going to dominate. And I'm telling you that now. We will not miss a day uploading. We haven't missed a day yet. And we're growing very, very fast. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's helping us grow. And I hope this video helped. Now you can watch me. I think I die horrifically in this gulag. Yeah. So you've seen for yourself. That's how we're going to end the video. I'm out of here. Goodbye.